Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. We are graced today with Chris Haynes. Chris, thanks so much for being here with us.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me.
Right on. So we'll dive right into it. If you wouldn't mind sharing with our listeners basically where you're located and a rough idea of the volumes that you're processing right now.
Yeah, so I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
We had an awesome year. Of course, 2020 was a record-breaking year. We're probably a little bit down from that. Personal production, I'll be a little bit over probably 100 million personal production, and the branch will probably be in the 300 million range for the
Wow.
for 2021.
That's a fantastic balance of numbers. Normally you see branch managers doing a much larger share of the volume of their offices.
Yeah, my goal is to do less and less as a percentage. I don't want to do less business, but as a percentage, I want the office to continue to grow. Absolutely.
That's fantastic for new loan officers joining your team. It's rare to find that.
Yeah, it's been a shift for me over the last couple of years. Just for the first 10, 12 years of my career is just focus on your own business, focus. And
Yeah,
I get a lot more fulfillment out of coaching other guys and seeing them grow their business. It's a lot more fun to do that.
absolutely. So if I'm a new loan officer and I'm coming in, what are the types of things that you're going to have them doing that you've had the greatest success with on bringing new business in the door? What are the greatest ways for a loan officer to generate new customers?
You know, it's a simple process. You call every day. It's a daily sales plan, right? You got your Monday calls, your Tuesday calls, your Wednesday calls, your Thursday calls. One of the biggest things that I see loan officers failing to do is keeping a database.
Hmm.
Like they'll come in and they're, just closing a couple loans a month, getting things going. They're in the business 3, 4, 5 years, and they've closed over that time, whatever it is, 100 people, 200 people, 300, 400 people. And then I talk to them like, awesome, man, you've got, great database. You closed these people, how are you working your database? Like I haven't really kept up with it. So if you're a new loan officer, if you're not a new loan officer, I think the biggest thing that people miss is working that database. Keep up with them, put them in HomeBot so they're getting,
Yes.
getting some good information, and then doing the old-fashioned calls once a quarter, and the mail. We mail once a month, and it's old school. Postcard one month. The next month, I'm going to mail a letter of the heart is what we call it, like and I'm a real person type of letter. And your clients get that, and they see that you're a real person, and 3 years later, they remember you,
That's right.
right? Where I don't know what the exact statistic, Chris, you may know, but like after 6 months, like 80 or 90% of people can't even tell you their loan officer's name after
That's right.
and they remember you. They're like, oh, that guy was great. He did a great job. They closed on time. It was awesome, but I can't remember his name, much less his phone number. I can't send my brother-in-law to him because I can't, don't know who he is anymore. So
Yep.
you're always trying to get new business versus do a good job of your database and grow it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we've seen just in the last year or so that's really helping with that name recollection and brand recollection is the retargeting ads on social media. So taking that database,
Absolutely.
uploading it as a custom audience and showing those ads to them. So just another arrow in the quiver.
And the key to that, Chris, is you have to have your database, right?
Yes.
You can't just be like, oh yeah, I closed a bunch of loans and I'm sure they remember me. You have to have their information to do it, be able to do that. And we've
Yep.
been doing that. We've had good success because it's so cheap, right? You can shoot a video and it goes out to your 300 or 400 past clients, or if you've been in the business a long time, 2,000. It's a few bucks.
Yeah.
It's nothing to target those folks, and they get to see you as like their local mortgage celebrity.
Yep, absolutely. And so that's a fantastic rundown on what to do with past customers. Are you also teaching your loan officers about generating referral relationships, going out and working realtors? What does that look like?
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, it's a little bit longer process. We teach the same thing as far as like the Thor's hammer calls. You're cold calling some realtors. Once you get going, I think you can build your business more warmly. The business you're already doing, have those agents introduce you to other agents. Your Tuesday updates, your just ask calls, great opportunity to work with a listing agent. And I personally, I don't do a lot of cold calling and haven't for years just because I've been doing it long enough. But yeah, I mean, you got to grow that realtor business to get a database. You're not going to close enough people to ever have a database if you don't have the realtor relationships.
That's amazing. So you mentioned the Just Ask campaign. Some of our listeners may have no idea what that is. Can you unpack that for us?
Yeah, so on a Tuesday, we do Tuesday updates or just ask, right? And it's not a real update. It's a, hey, everything's great with your loan. So you call the borrower and you say, hey, everything's great with your loan. We're on track. Appraisal's due next week. By the way, who else do you know that we can help with a mortgage and, that may be looking for a mortgage in the next 12 months?
Yep.
Right. Same thing with the realtor. You're going to call your buyer's agent you're in a relationship with. Hey, everything's on track. We're good. If you have any questions from the processor, we can answer those. Hey, by the way, have you run across any new buyers I can help? Listing agent, same thing. Hey, we're on track. They're usually shocked when they get a call from the loan officer.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, everything's on track. We're going to close on time. We're actually going to have your package out early. Would that be, and always it's a little bit more of a sales pitch to them. Hey, would that be helpful if I give you an update every Tuesday and then also make sure we close this on time and have your package out early? They're going to say, absolutely. Hey, Mr. Listing Agent, that's just one of the things that we do to help my agents grow their business. I would love to have the opportunity to go grab a cup of coffee with you and talk more about how you've been so successful and see if we might be able to partner. I asked them that on the very first call. I don't wait till the end. Most people want to let me prove myself.
Yeah.
Hey, they have to work with me for the next month. They're more likely to say, yeah, let's go get coffee.
Right, exactly.
So ask them on that first call. If they say no, hey, if I do a great job for you, keep you updated, close on time, get the package out early, at the end of the process, could we grab that cup of coffee? Most of the time they'll say yes, right? And one thing that Chris, I think is kind of our secret sauce is our loan presentation, which I was going to kind of go over today.
Yeah.
That's cool with you. That's
Please do.
That's, so to give everybody a little bit of background, I've been in the business since 2004. Got into coaching in 2011. And I had a coach that asked me, he said, hey, do you have a loan presentation? I was like, no. I mean, I just build some rapport. We used to meet people face to face back in 2011, 12, up until 2019, 2020. We met most of our clients face to face. And he said, do you have a loan presentation? My loan presentation back then, it was a good faith estimate before they had a loan estimate. I would build some rapport and I just whip out the good faith estimate. Let's talk about some numbers.
Yep.
And go through some stuff, right? So what I learned was I need to build some value before I show people my price, okay? So another coach, a different coach taught me one time, you never tell someone your price until you've shown them your value. Okay? And my joke about that is, let's say we had a room of 50 people here and I say, hey, I've got a Ford truck outside and I'll sell it to somebody for $10,000. Who wants it? It's like, Ford truck, everyone. But if I say, hey, and this is my actual Ford truck, I have a 2016 Platinum F-150 black with, 65,000 miles on it. Kelley Blue Book's probably in the 30s. I'll sell it to you for $10,000. Now who wants it? Every hand in the room. What's the difference? I built my value up.
That's right.
Then I told you the price. If I don't build any value, and hey, I'm just selling you a $10,000 truck, I don't. Is the value $11,000 or is the value $2,000? Right? Is it 1956 with rusted out bumpers and a battery that won't start the truck? So I've learned through the loan presentation to build value in me and my process. So if you want me to, Chris, I can do a screen share and kind of go through what that looks like. Would that be helpful?
That would be amazing. Yes, absolutely.
Cool. So before I do that, kind of let me preface what this looks like. When a client calls in, we're going to get some basic information and set an appointment. So, hey, Chris, you called in. Your realtor referred you to us. Awesome. Let me get your name, number. What are you looking for? $400,000 purchase price. Great. Hey, Chris, is it okay? I need to set an appointment for you to meet with a team tomorrow over the phone to really go over this consultation. Can you do tomorrow at 3 or the next day at 4? Okay, so we're going to set an appointment for you to really go over the consult.
Yes.
Once we have the appointment set, I'm going to send you over the link. It's okay, perfect, Chris. Now, while I got you on the phone, I'm going to send you over the link so you can fill out our application. Is that okay? Literally, while you're on the phone, I'm going to have you download the app, put in your email address, and start the application so you don't get hung up on the technology piece. Once you have the app downloaded and your email address in, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to send you a appointment confirmation email for the next day. Okay? So by the time we have that appointment tomorrow, I'm going to have your credit. I'm going to know everything about your income, all that stuff. It's going to be ready to go. So then on that call, I'm going to share my screen here. And can you see this?
Yes.
Loan process? Perfect. So when I get you on the phone, and my loan partner is the one setting that appointment.
Okay.
So she's saying, hey, I'm setting the appointment for Chris, or even my team captain does these calls. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build my value. I'm not going to go say, hey, Chris, we're going to have you a 3.25% rate on a conventional loan. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and say, hey, Chris, the first thing we're going to do is talk about our process, what we do, and how we do it. Okay. And if it's okay, I'll run you through this fairly quickly. This process usually takes about 25 or 30 minutes for the client. You know,
Wow.
you guys here on the call, obviously I don't have to go through it in as much detail, but I'll give you all this. And if anybody wants this information, I'm glad to share it. You can take my picture off of it and your logo, and you're welcome to use any of that stuff. The key to this, though, I created this whole presentation and just tweaked it over the years. I added a page, I took this out, I added that, did the things that I thought needed to be done. But having it in writing has allowed me to train other people to do it.
Yes.
So now I don't have to be the one that does it every single time. I have my team captain that does it. All my loan officers are trained on how to do it. We practice it. And there's a couple little key scripts that we use as we go. Okay. And I do have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize.
No trouble at all.
So I'm going to email this over to the client.
Okay.
Have them open it up on their email, or you can share it on a Zoom, just like we're doing here. I'm saying, hey, this is the home loan process. First step is the application pre-approval, going over your income, going over your assets, making sure everything's good to go. And we're going to talk about that. You're going to be pre-approved at the end of this call. Next step is go out and find a house, make an offer, and get a contract. That's where me as a loan officer, I'm going to resell the realtor. Hey, you're in great hands with your realtor. They're the best in town. Awesome at negotiating. They're going to take great care of you. You just know you're in awesome hands with that realtor. Once you have a contract, you can come back and sign the initial loan application and disclosure package with me. Okay, that's what gives me permission to underwrite, process, and close. That's where I go into a little bit of education about how I'm different. I'm going to build some value right here. Okay, so if it's okay, Chris, let me tell you a little bit about me. I've been doing this since 2004. My business is 100% referral based.
Yeah.
I get all of my business, Chris, by doing an awesome job for you. My goal is you send me your friends, your family, your coworkers at the end of this process. Second part of that is we're going to survey you at the end. If at any point in time you don't feel like you're getting 5-star out of 5-star service, or you don't understand something, I want you to know you can come to me. I'm going to make sure that we take care of it, that we close on time, and we earn that 5-star review at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Like, awesome. Yes, I love that you're referral based. I love that I'm going to get surveyed. I know you're going to take good care of me. Awesome. Hey, how we do that, how we get all of our 5-star reviews, how we get so many referrals, we process our loans a lot different than a lot of places. A lot of places, man, you'll talk to them maybe locally, but then they ship your package out to some big processing center. I'm in Tennessee, so California is the enemy, right? So they ship your process, your file out to some processing center with 5,000 people in a call center in California. You're dialing a 1-800 number and you're saying 1-800, please help. Who am I talking to today? Nobody seems to know what's going on. Me and my team, it's not like that, man. My team processes my loans right through my branch. Some of our guys do work from home. You're going to dial my local number from start to finish. You never have to dial a 1-800 number and get shuffled around between people who don't care. Okay, so that's a big difference in how we do business. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I just built some real value. 100% referral based. Going to survey you at the end for a 5-star review, and you never have to dial 1-800, please help.
That is amazing.
All the things that people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want that to happen to me going through the process. Next step is going to order an appraisal. Make sure the house is worth what you're paying for it. That protects you from overpaying. Title work is legal paperwork. The attorneys and homeowners insurance, I will help you shop that. I've got a great insurance agent that I'll refer you to, and of course you can shop with your favorite insurance agent as well. But I just do that as part of my process. The next step is the Tuesday update. So every Tuesday, my team is going to update you through the process. The biggest complaint in our industry, we just talked about, lack of communication. You can imagine if you're dialing a 1-800 number, it's hard to communicate. We don't allow that to happen. Every Tuesday, my team's going to update you what's going on. We're going to submit it to underwriting. Underwriters love paperwork, so I got to set some expectations. Just know we're going to bug you for signatures. We're going to bug you for pay stubs. We're going to ask you for more bank statements. I hate it. I apologize. It's just part of it. The government makes us get all this stuff. We gather whether to ask for it, goes through underwriting to closing, sign the docs, and get the keys. Okay? So, Chris, you're getting pre-approved today, so you don't have a contract. Normally, we want 30 days on the contract. If you need to close in 21, it's not a problem. We can knock that out for you. So any questions on the process and what to expect?
That is amazing.
Yeah, awesome, man. So that's page 1. I go through the rest of it fairly quickly. Page 2 is the 10 commandments, or the do's and don'ts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we call it the 10 commandments. I'm in the Bible Belt. I'm a Christian. I'm a faithful man. So it's the 10 commandments of the loan process for us. We ask that you don't apply for or open new credit. Go through this quickly. Hey, we ask you don't apply for, open new credit. If you were to go out and open a car loan or a credit card, it's going to throw things off. Just don't do that while you're going through this. If you transfer money around or make large cash deposits, we have to know where all your money for down payment is coming from. So is there anything weird about your down payment? Is granny, sometimes it's, oh, grandma's giving me, some money for down payment. We'll make sure we have all that documented. Of course, don't miss any payments. Don't forget to tell us about any of the properties you own. Hey, do you have any land or condo that we don't know about? Don't change job or quit your jobs. That's kind of a joke, but we do tell you, please don't quit or change jobs. Don't throw away your income and asset statements. We have to have most recent. Don't forget to call us if you have any questions. And last but not least, the most important one, Chris, is don't forget to tell all your friends and family about us. So kind of plug in with a joke that we want the referrals.
That is beautiful.
The next one is the needs list, what we need from you. It's all this stuff. All files, we need driver's license, pay stub, W-2s, tax returns, bank statements. Okay. If applicable, if they've been divorced, I'll go through that. If they're VA, I'll go through, what we might need from them on their particular file. My favorite document says Uncle Sam wants you to give him more paperwork. So this is super important. And I love the fact that you get the joke, right? But if you'll go through this, people are like, man, why is there so much paperwork? I don't want your paperwork. I don't care about all this. I don't care. I don't care about the fact that you had a deposit and but Uncle Sam, the government, has a million, miles of red tape, and we have to follow it. So anything we ask you for is mandated by the government per banking guidelines. So I apologize for it again, but they get a chuckle out of that and they remember that. And my team, if you get somebody late in the process that's like, oh man, you guys are killing me, they'll kind of remind them like, hey, you remember that document about Uncle Sam wants you to give him more paperwork? This is why. Okay, so it kind of sets that expectation again. Notes for their loan. If they want to take notes, we used to be face-to-face and we'd actually physically fill this out, price, program, option 1, option 2. Couple of important things though, so you never forget. This is where, Chris, as I developed the presentation, this would come up over and over. So I put it as part of the process, right? So I never forget. My team captain never forgets to go over this. My loan officers, they never forget to cover closing costs. Hey, closing costs, if you want to have the seller pay some, you can ask for it. It's a negotiating point. I don't know if you guys can read this. But it has an example. If the sales price is $200,000, the seller pays 3% or $6,000, they're really selling it to you for $194,000. Okay, that's a very low purchase price. It's hard to find that anymore. Also, right now in this market, you're probably not going to get closing costs paid by the seller. Right. If that house has been on the market for one day and there's 5 other offers, you can't ask for closing costs. If it's been on the market for 2 or 3 weeks, hey, there may be some room to get some closing costs paid. So just kind of go over how that works. Very important. Payment calculations based on sales price. For every $1,000 in price, it's $5 a month. Every $10,000 in price, it's $50 a month on a 30-year. Okay, so that way, if you're going over, hey Chris, you guys want 400, you put down 10%. This is your, we're gonna go over your payment here in a minute. Hey, if you go to 410, you don't need to call me back and say, hey man, what's my payment? It's $50 more than 400. Okay, that way you don't. That really cuts down on people bugging you to death.
Yes.
For payments on every single offer they make. Team sheet, kind of put faces with names on who's on the team. So excuse me there. Then we'll go into Encompass. Okay, let's go to a calculator file. So I'm probably not going to really open this up, but if I went to a conventional purchase calculator file, you would jump in there and you would say, hey Chris, based on what you told me, this is what we're looking at. Okay. And I already went through the whole presentation. So I say, okay, $400,000 purchase price, 10% down. Here's your payment. I'm going to jump through Encompass and go through that. Okay. Then at the end of it, I got a couple of closing statements. Okay. Hey, Chris, you have any questions on any of the things that we went over?
No.
No? Any other scenarios you would like me to run? Anything else as far as like the numbers go?
No. Super helpful.
Awesome. Something we just added, which is a Carl White thing, is, hey, Chris, is there any reason you can see why we wouldn't work together?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's something that we're working on implementing because you want to get that commitment from the client. Hey, Chris, can you see any reason why we wouldn't work together? All right. And if they say, oh, no, man, this all looks great. Perfect. Good to go. You've got a commitment from them that you're going to work together. Then I've got 2 more questions or 2 more statements that I make. And I'm going to ask for a referral.
Yeah.
So I just went through and gave some people some real value. If they went to Wells Fargo or Quicken, they have no clue what the actual process looks like.
That's right.
Nobody hit point by point. Nobody talked about appraisals and underwriting and do's and don'ts. They just got a piece of paper that said they're approved. And they're like, what does that mean? Okay. So, hey, Chris, I know we took some time today, man. And, I just want to make sure, has this been helpful? Has this been a good use of your time?
Absolutely.
Every time the client says yes. Hey, awesome. Something we really take pride in is taking the time to take great care of our clients. So who else do you know that might be buying or refinancing a house in the next 12 months that I can help like this?
Yes.
Right?
That is,
So couple keys, always ask, has this been helpful?
yes.
Once they say yes, that's permission to ask for a referral,
That's right.
right? If if you don't ask, has this been helpful, and you just go and ask for the referral, it's kind of awkward. But once
Yeah.
they say yes, this has been helpful, then very important, who else do you know that might be buying or refinancing in the next 12 months?
Okay.
Add that in there, in the next 12 months, because if I say, hey, Chris, who else do you know buying or selling a house? Your brain goes, me. I'm the one
Yeah.
buying and selling a house right now. But if you say in the next 12 months, it opens your mind up to the brother-in-law that might be moving back from North Carolina.
Yep.
The my aunt is getting married, and they may be like, what I'm saying, like, it's like, oh yeah, next year I want those referrals too. I don't need a referral that's moving next month. If they're moving next month, it's probably already too late for me anyway. They've already done this.
Right. Exactly.
So always add in the next 12 months. Okay. Um, if they have a referral for you, awesome. If they don't, hey, no worries, Chris. As you go through the process, you'll have your antennas up. You'll hear people looking to buy a house refinance. Please keep us in mind. That's how I stay in business. I'd appreciate it. Hey, last quick question, Chris. Can I ask you a big favor?
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Hey, when you go back and you talk to your realtor, can you please let them know that we met today, that I went over all this stuff, and that we took great care of you. I always want your realtor to know if they refer somebody that we take the time to take great care of them. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect. So I do that, guys, so that when they leave, the first call they always make is the realtor. They're gonna call the realtor, say, "Hey, I'm approved. I've got my letter. I'm ready to go. Oh, and by the way, I had a great experience with Chris and his team."
Yes.
Right? I just remind them to please let the realtor know that I just took 30 minutes and educated you and gave you a good experience. So then the last thing is this email template. Okay. So this is the template that comes up. I had a signature, so I never forget to fill in the blanks. Pre-approved up to, but can go higher, loan type, closing costs, time frame for wanting to buy. Okay. So this pre-approval letter is going to go out to the realtor. I copy the buyer on it, and
Okay.
it's in a Word document so that they can edit it. I put it in a Word document. I allow them to edit it down. If they want to go up, they have to get permission, right? But I don't want them calling me every 5 minutes for a different price on a
Right.
PDF. So this is one that's filled out. Hey, just had a great conversation with these folks. This is the pre-approval letter. I fill it out. So I type all this up here, and then I fill in the blanks down here.
That is amazing.
Yep, and that loan's already closed. It was a couple months ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, there you go. So if you'll do that and create a process that you do every single time, you get better and better and better and better at it. Right?
Absolutely.
If you take this whole process and you try to do it the first time, it's like the first time you take an at bat, you're probably gonna strike out or feel like you struck out. But as you do it and you get better and better, then you have a process that's repeatable.
Yeah.
So when a client comes in, the realtor knows what's going to happen, how's this going to go, how the pre-approval letter is going to come, and it's consistent. You know, one of the best analogies I ever heard is, does McDonald's have the best hamburgers?
No.
No, but they sell the most
Yeah.
because they have a very repeatable process. They have the most offers. They make the most offers because they're on every corner.
Yeah.
They make an average, or my opinion, way below average hamburger. But you know what you're getting. You can go to Tokyo and get a Big Mac that will taste like the Big Mac you get down the street.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a repeatable process. And when you have a repeatable process, if you don't like something, if you don't like the onions, change it.
Yeah.
Take it off.
That's amazing. So you've got every loan officer in your organization trained on that particular process. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, do they do it as well as, I've done it the most.
Right.
Because I created it and I do it over and over. But yes, we give them this. They put all their logos and their pictures on all the documents. And I highly, highly encourage and train them to do this every single time.
Yes.
Build up the value before we go into, hey, man, I found somebody online that beat your rate by an eighth of a point. Well, great.
Yeah.
Are they going to close on time? Did you dial a 1-800 number? Is that person that you talk to ever going to be involved again?
Yeah.
You're taking this big risk to save $15 a month and your loan may never close. Versus I
Yeah.
built some real value. So then my price being a little higher than some internet lender is not as important, when it comes down to time to shop.
That's amazing. And the fact that you've got the process, and I mean, multiple times you've built into there getting the rating and review, which is going to drive future consumer direct business from your Google My Business page and all of the advertisements. But you've also built in the asks that you need in order to get referrals, not only at the beginning of the process, even when you take the application, but throughout the loan process where you're collecting all the documents and your processors and all of that, and referrals in the future. So just by following the simple process that you got today, you're going to make more. You're going to make more because you're going to generate more referrals from the applications that you're already taking in your business. It's brilliant.
So if you will go through that process and at the end you'll ask that question, hey, has this been helpful?
Yeah.
Hey, great, it has. And you go into asking for the business, about 1 out of 3 will give you somebody on the spot.
Really? That high?
Yeah. I feel like mine's about 1. I don't track it perfectly, but I feel like I've gotten like 3 in a row before.
Wow.
3 different meetings, like boom, boom, boom. I'm getting all these referrals, but it's in how you ask.
Yeah.
Hey, has this been helpful? It has. Awesome. Hey, we do this for everybody. Who else do you know that might be buying or refinancing in the next 12 months that I can offer that same service to? And they'll be like, oh man, my brother-in-law. Now you have to keep going. Oh, awesome. What's his name? Yep. His name is John Johnstone. Oh, great. Hey, do you happen to have his number in your phone right now? I let them get their phone out and pick it out. Hey, write down that phone number. Hey, can you do me one more favor and let John know that I'm going to give him a call?
Perfect.
So he doesn't think I'm a telemarketer.
Right. Yeah.
Practice.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Chris, you are a wealth of knowledge. Is there anything else that you feel is valuable that you can share today with the audience?
I don't know, man. We have a lot of little processes, little things we do, little trainings that we do. This is, I think, one of the secret sauces that we have. I did a presentation in front of like 200 big producing loan officers, and I asked how many people in here have a written loan presentation that they do every time, and 1 stood up. I thought 10% of the room would stand up.
Yeah.
10 to 20%. 1 out of about 200. So I do think that this can set you apart.
Yes.
And make your business consistent.
Absolutely.
So I think this is a big deal. And, don't want to get overwhelming. If they can implement a written loan presentation on every single pre-app and every refinance. If you call me to do a refinance, we're about to talk about numbers. Hey, Chris, let me talk to you real quick about the process of what to expect. We're going through this, the whole thing. And then, hey, let's get into your numbers. You want a 30-year fixed? This is what you're saving. Awesome. I've built value before we talk about numbers.
That is so incredibly important.
Absolutely.
And the thing that I love about you and your business is your processes are not like so many people are processes oriented on the collecting of the docs and the actual funding of the loan. But so few people have structure and process to generating the business and making, like you're making your calls every single day, Monday through Thursday. You've got a different focus each day. You've got scripts, you've got processes, the same things happen every time. And that builds your momentum. That builds the whole business. And you've got systems and processes for everything. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I think closing the loan smoothly is always harder than getting the loan in the door.
Yeah.
Right? Because you find out that they got that business that lost money or something crazy pops up, right? So yeah, it's always it's fun when you do a lot of business. You always have a few problems that pop up along the way.
Most definitely. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and for being on the show today. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, appreciate you, Chris, very much.
Now, if there's a loan officer out there who's listening to this and thinking, man, systems and processes like that could change my life, how do people reach out to you? How do they get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach you?
I can give you my cell phone. I don't know how many people you got here, but I'll just give you my cell phone out. It's 615-945-3994. And you can text me. That's probably the best way. I guess they can rewind it. I won't say it again. But they can text me. That's the best way. Text me who you are, what you want, and I'll get back to you because I'm in meetings a lot, so I can't answer the phone. My phone now, if it's an unknown number, it'll say potential spam and all kinds of stuff. So text is always the best way to send it over for the first reach out.
Excellent. And for all of our listeners, we'll have that in the show notes for the episode as well. Well, thanks again, Chris. And yeah, for all of our listeners, don't forget to head on over to iTunes, hit us up with a 5-star review, and subscribe. That helps us get more incredible guests like Chris on the show. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hey, it's Chris Johnstone. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I hope that you loved it and got incredible value from it. Right now, it's time to head on over to iTunes and leave your 5-star review if you enjoyed this episode. When you do, you will be entered into our monthly draw to receive an Amazon gift card. So go ahead, leave that review today. It also helps us attract top talent and really get incredible interviews lined up for you so that we can share even more value for you. Now, for the show notes and for all of the resources that were mentioned in this episode, you can head on over to loanofficerwealth.com. That's loanofficerwealth.com. You get access to all the show notes from all the episodes, all the past episodes, get notified of new episodes when they drop, and we've also got some very special bonuses for you over on that page when you opt in. So head on over and opt in today, and we look forward to sharing the next episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast with you soon.